At 2:47 in the morning, I woke up because my husband's side of the bed was empty. Not just empty, cold. His wedding ring was sitting on the nightstand. Travis Whitaker never took off his wedding ring. Not when he showered. Not when he slept. Not even when he worked in the back of his family's hardware store and came home with grease under his fingernails. But that night, his ring sat beside the lamp like he had quietly removed our marriage before walking out the door. Then I heard the back door close downstairs, softly, carefully, like a man trying not to wake the family he was leaving behind. I followed him 3 blocks through the dark. And 10 minutes later, I stood across the street from a little white house on Willow Lane and heard a girl in purple pajamas run into his arms and call my husband Daddy. Before I tell you what happened after that, tell me where you're watching from. Are you listening in your car at work in bed? Or while making dinner? Drop your city or country in the comments. Sometimes a story hits harder when you realize someone far away is hearing it with you. And please remember, some details have been changed for privacy and storytelling, but the pain in this story is the kind too many families know too well. My name is Megan Whitaker. At the time this happened, I was 38 years old, married for 14 years, and mother to an 11-year-old boy named Eli. We lived in a quiet suburb outside Columbus, Ohio, on a street lined with maple trees, basketball hoops, beige houses, and neighbors who waved from driveways, but rarely asked real questions. Our house was not fancy. Split level, black shutters, a cracked front walkway Travis kept saying he would fix, a backyard fence that needed staining, a garage full of tools, sports equipment, and half-finished projects. It looked like a normal American family home. And for a long time, I believed that was what it was. Travis worked as the operations manager at Whitaker Hardware, the store his father had opened 35 years earlier. It was one of those local hardware stores where customers came in for screws, paint, snow shovels, and advice they trusted more than anything online. People loved Travis. He remembered everyone's name. He knew which contractor liked early deliveries, which widow needed help loading salt into her trunk, which retired teacher preferred bird seed without corn in it. He could make a stranger feel seen in under a minute. That was his gift. And for 14 years, I mistook that gift for goodness. I worked as a library assistant at Eli's middle school. I helped kids find books, repaired torn pages with tape, ran reading challenges, decorated bulletin boards, and stretched my paycheck between groceries. Soccer cleats, school fees, and all the little things that keep a child's life moving. I was the one who remembered permission slips. I was the one who packed lunches. I was the one who bought birthday gifts for Travis's parents and let them thank him. I was the one who mailed Christmas cards. I was the one who signed Eli up for camp waitlists, dentist appointments, book fair shifts, and soccer carpools. Travis liked to call it the little home stuff. He said it with a smile. Like it was cute, like it was small. Like the whole structure of our family did not rest on those invisible things I carried every day. His mother Carol said the same thing in her own way. Carol Whitaker was 64, sharp-eyed, perfectly dressed, and deeply convinced that the sun rose over her son. Whenever Travis missed something, Carol had an excuse. Your father needed him at the store. Men carry different burdens. You worry too much, Megan. Travis provides. You should appreciate that. Once at Thanksgiving, she praised Travis in front of the whole table for the centerpiece I had bought, arranged, and driven across town in the rain. My son has such a thoughtful eye, she said. I looked at the candles I had chosen and said nothing. That was who I had been. A woman who swallowed small humiliations because I thought peace was more important than pride. But pride is not always arrogance. Sometimes pride is the part of you that knows when you are being erased. And by the time I heard that little girl call my husband Daddy, something inside me that had been asleep for years finally opened its eyes. The house on Willow Lane was small and white, with a sagging porch, blue flower pots by the steps, and a pink scooter lying on its side near the driveway. A paper sign was taped inside the front window. Happy birthday, June. The little girl June had messy hair and sleepy eyes. She clung to Travis like she had been waiting all night. You promised you'd come before school, she said. I'm here, Junebug, Travis whispered. Junebug, a nickname. A soft voice, a father's hand smoothing her hair. A woman appeared behind them, early 30s, blonde hair tied loosely at the back of her neck, wearing an oversized sweatshirt and tired eyes. She did not look shocked to see him. She looked relieved. "You said midnight," she said quietly. "I couldn't get away," Travis answered. Megan was still up doing school stuff. My name came out of his mouth like an inconvenience. The woman stepped aside. June grabbed his hand. "Are you staying for breakfast?" Travis hesitated. Then he said, "Just for a little while." That was when my heart broke in a way I did not yet have permission to feel, because my son Eli was asleep 3 blocks away. And the man who had missed Eli's soccer game the week before, because he was supposedly stuck at inventory, was standing in another child's doorway at 3 in the morning promising pancakes before school. I walked home without feeling my feet. The neighborhood looked the same. The church sign still advertised Saturday's pancake breakfast. A trash bin still leaned crooked in the alley. Someone's porch light still flickered. My house still waited at the end of Cedar Ridge Drive, ordinary and quiet, as if my life had not just split in half under the streetlights. Inside, I checked on Eli. He was asleep on his stomach with one arm under the pillow and his old stuffed dinosaur shoved against the wall. He was 11, almost 12, but he still kept that dinosaur near him, pretending he did not care if anyone noticed. I stood in his doorway and watched him breathe. Then I went into my bedroom. Travis's ring was still on the nightstand. I picked it up. It felt heavier than it should have. For a second, I imagined throwing it across the room. Instead, I put it back exactly where he had left it, because I understood something then. If I confronted him with pain, he would use my pain against me. If I cried, he would call me unstable. If I screamed, he would say I was dramatic. Travis knew how to charm people. He also knew how to make a woman doubt her own eyes. So I lay down on my side of the bed and stared at the ceiling until sunrise. I did not sleep. I did not cry. I thought. At 6:21, I heard the back door. At 6:28, Travis came upstairs. At 6:32, he walked into the bedroom wearing the same hoodie I had watched disappear into another woman's house. His wedding ring was back on his finger, the circle restored, the husband costume complete. He paused when he saw me awake, only for a second. Then he smiled. "Morning. Morning. You're up early." "So are you." He rubbed the back of his neck and gave a small laugh. "Couldn't sleep. Went to check the store alarm. Dad forgot to set it again." The lie was smooth. Too smooth. A lie polished from years of practice. I looked at him, this man I had loved since I was 24, and for the first time I noticed how little effort lying seemed to cost him. Eli shuffled into the doorway wearing basketball shorts and one sock. "Dad, did you sign my science camp recommendation form?" Travis glanced at me. "Ask your mom. She handles all that little paperwork stuff." Eli frowned. "You said you would." Travis smiled. "Buddy, the store was crazy yesterday. Your mom's better at those things anyway. Little paperwork stuff. Those things." The dream Eli had talked about for 2 years reduced to an errand Travis could toss back into my hands. I watched Eli's face fall for half a second before he covered it. That was the first thing I wrote down later. Not the ring. Not the house. Not even the word daddy. I wrote, he forgot Eli's camp form the same morning he came back from June's birthday. After breakfast, Travis kissed me on the cheek. "Love you," he said. The words touched my skin and meant nothing. I said, "Drive safe." When his truck pulled out of the driveway, I sat at the kitchen table with a spiral notebook from Eli's school supplies and wrote at the top of the page, "What do I know?" Then I listed the facts. Travis left at approximately 2:50 a.m. He removed his wedding ring. He went through the back gate. He walked to 17 Willow Lane. He had a key. A girl named June called him Daddy. A woman expected him. He lied about checking the store alarm. He missed Eli's camp form but went to June's birthday before school. I stared at the list until the words blurred. Then I turned the page and wrote another question. What have I ignored? That question hurt worse. Because betrayal rarely arrives alone. It drags old memories behind it. The calls he stepped outside to answer. The Saturdays he missed Eli's games. The weird Target charges. The second grocery rewards account. The way he always got the mail before I did. The way Carol stopped talking when I entered a room. The way Travis said privacy whenever I asked about his phone. The way he said you're tired whenever I was suspicious. The way he called my life small while living off the parts of it that served him. By 9 that morning, Eli was at school. By 10, I opened our grocery app. I did not need a detective. I did not need drama. I needed ordinary truth. And ordinary truth was sitting in an app we used every week. There were 2 saved addresses. our house on Cedar Ridge Drive, and 17 Willow Lane. The second address had been added 4 years earlier. I opened the order history. At first I saw diapers, then toddler snacks, children's allergy medicine, birthday candles, cupcake liners, glitter glue, frozen waffles, a pink lunchbox, dance tights, all paid from our joint debit card. Small purchases, $28, $43, $76. Nothing big enough to start a fight. Everything big enough to build a second childhood. I kept scrolling. The dates told a story. The same week, Eli needed new soccer cleats, and Travis told me money was tight. There was a grocery order to Willow Lane with party plates, cake mix, balloons, and a toy microscope. The same weekend, Travis missed Eli's championship game because he couldn't leave the store. There was an order for pancake mix, strawberries, whipped cream, and a princess birthday candle. The same month, I told Eli science camp might have to wait another year. Travis bought June a telescope from our Amazon account. I sat there with my hand over my mouth. Not because Travis had bought things for a child, June was innocent, but because he had made me say no to my son while saying yes to his secret. That afternoon, I drove to Whitaker Hardware. I told myself I was dropping off Eli's fundraiser form. That was only partly true. The store smelled like lumber fertilizer and strong coffee. Carol was near the register arranging seed packets. Megan, she said, didn't expect you. I was nearby. She looked at the folder in my hand. Another school thing. Eli's fundraiser. Carol sighed. That boy has so many activities. Children don't need to be scheduled every minute. He wants to go to science camp. Science camp. She said it like I had announced a trip to the moon. When Travis was that age, he was helping his father unload lumber. I smiled faintly. When Travis was that age, he also had 2 parents showing up for him. Carol's eyes narrowed. Before she could answer, I heard a woman's laugh from the back office. Not loud, not flirtatious, familiar. I moved toward the paint aisle and looked through a gap between shelves. Tessa was there. The woman from Willow Lane. Now I had a name because Carol said it warmly as she walked toward the office. Tessa Honey did the cabinet handles work. Tessa smiled. They're perfect. Travis said they'd match the blue paint. Carol put a hand to her chest. That kitchen is going to look adorable. Adorable. Carol had never called anything in my house adorable. Not the reading corner I built for Eli. Not the curtains I sewed when money was tight. Not the birthday table I decorated every year. But Tessa's blue kitchen cabinets. Adorable. Travis leaned against the desk, arms crossed, completely relaxed. Too relaxed. Like this woman belonged in his father's store. Like his mother belonged in her kitchen. Like I was the only person who had not been given the script. I left without giving him the fundraiser form. In the parking lot, my phone buzzed. A text from Travis. Can you pick up Mom's prescription after work? I'm slammed. No, please. No, thank you. Just another task dropped into the hands of the wife who carried. I typed, ask your sister. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Finally, really. 1 word. Really. As if my refusal to run one errand was more shocking than what he had been doing for years. That night at dinner, Eli talked about science camp. There's a scholarship essay, he said. Mrs. Lane says I should write about why I love rocks. Travis smirked. Rocks, huh? Eli looked down. It's geology. I know, buddy. I'm kidding. But the damage had already landed. I saw it in Eli's shoulders, the way they folded inward. I wanted to reach across the table and shake Travis. Instead, I said I think it's a great topic. Eli looked at me gratefully. Travis refilled his water and acted like a good father for the next 10 minutes. That was what made it so cruel. He was not always bad. If he had been bad all the time, leaving him would have been simple. He was funny sometimes, helpful sometimes, tender sometimes, and then absent at the exact moments we needed him most. After Eli went upstairs, Travis leaned against the counter while I washed dishes. Mom said you were rude today. Your mother survives very well. He smiled, but his eyes sharpened. You've been different. Have I? Cold. I dried my hands. Interesting word. Megan. There it was. My name is a warning. He stepped closer. I don't know what's going on with you, but don't turn your boredom into a family crisis. My hand tightened around the dish towel. Boredom. He shrugged. You work in a school library. You come home, make dinner, fold towels, pack lunches. Maybe you want a bigger life, I get that. But don't punish me because you feel small. The room went quiet. The faucet dripped once, then again. For 14 years, I had helped build his life. I had fed him, supported him, protected his image, raised his child, cared for his parents, stretched money, carried schedules, and made his house feel like home. And he looked at all of that and called it small. I looked him in the eye. "You should be careful, Travis." He laughed softly. "Or what?" I smiled. Not because anything was funny, because for the first time I knew something he did not. Or you may find out how much of your life was held together by the woman you kept underestimating. His smile faded. He expected tears. I gave him calm. That frightened him more. The next day I found the photo. It was not hidden. That was almost the worst part. It was public, on Elmwood Elementary's Facebook page. Donuts with Dad, a cafeteria full of folding tables, orange juice cups, fathers in work shirts, grandfathers in baseball caps, little girls in dresses leaning against men they trusted. Photo number 7, June in a yellow dress. Travis beside her, his arm around her shoulders, his smile wide and proud. The caption read, "June Monroe with her dad Travis." Her dad. I stared at it until my eyes burned. Then I saw the comment below. "Carol Whitaker, our Junebug is getting so big." Our Junebug. Not poor child. Not sweet girl. Our Junebug. Carol had known. Not suspected. Known. And while Eli waited at soccer fields for a father who did not come, Carol was publicly claiming another child as family. I printed the photo. I printed the caption. I printed the comment. Then I sat alone in the school library, surrounded by children's books and posters that said, "Every story matters," and cried for the first time. Not loudly, not dramatically, just tears slipping down my face while the copy machine hummed beside me. I cried for Eli. I cried for June. I cried for the woman I had been buying Carol Mother's Day gifts while she helped another woman choose cabinet handles. Then I wiped my face, because Eli had soccer practice at 3:30. When he got into the van afterward, he was sweaty and quiet. "Coach said I'm getting better," he said. "You are. Dad coming next week." I looked at him in the rearview mirror. He said he would try. Eli looked out the window. "He always says try." I had no answer. A few days later, I found the camp account. For 3 years, Eli had dreamed of going to a science camp in northern Michigan. He had the brochure taped inside his closet door. He saved birthday money for it. I picked up extra weekend shifts during book fair season for it. Every time he asked, I told him maybe next summer, baby. The account should have had almost $9,000. It had 2,046. The withdrawals were small. 400, 600, 800, labeled as home expenses. I matched the dates. June's birthday, Tessa's kitchen, dance registration, a water heater repair at Willow Lane, back to school clothes. Travis had not just betrayed me, he had made our son fund his other life. I closed the laptop and sat very still. That was the moment anger arrived. Not loud, not wild. Cold, clean, useful. I did not hate June. I want that understood. She was a child. She did not steal from Eli. She did not lie to me. She did not ask to be born into a house built on someone else's silence. But Travis did. Travis took from one child and smiled at another. That is not a mistake. That is character. On Wednesday morning, I went to Willow Lane. Not at night. Not hiding. Not shaking. I parked in front of House 17 at 10:20 after school drop-off and before lunch. Then I knocked. Tessa opened the door. For 1 second, she did not understand. Then she did. "You're Megan," she whispered. So she knew my name. Yes. Her face went pale. "Is Travis okay?" That question almost broke me. Is Travis okay? Not what did he do? Not how much do you know? Is Travis okay? I looked past her into the living room. A couch with a floral blanket. Crayons on the coffee table. A framed photo of Travis and June at a pumpkin patch. A child's backpack by the stairs. It looked like a home. That was the painful part. It was not a villain's hideout. It was a child's home, built from lies but lived in by someone innocent. "I need 10 minutes, I said. Not to fight, not in front of your daughter, just 10 minutes of truth. Tessa stepped back. We sat at her kitchen table. The cabinets were blue. The handles matched perfectly. I hated that I noticed. "He told me you were separated," she said. The oldest lie in the world. For 10 years, her eyes filled. "He said you stayed in the house for Eli. He said it was complicated. He said his parents knew. His mother did." Tessa looked down. I thought. You thought what? She wiped her face with her sleeve. I thought maybe you didn't want him anymore. That hurt in a strange way. Because while I was washing his clothes, packing his lunches, helping his parents raising his son, and defending his absences, another woman had been told I did not want him. I pushed the printed grocery orders across the table. Then the school photo. Then Carol's comment. Then the camp withdrawals. Tessa stared at the papers. When she reached the camp account, her hand flew to her mouth. Number. Yes. He said the store had a family support account. He said Carol wanted to help because June was blood. Blood. That word landed like a slap. I looked around the kitchen. Did he tell you he was planning to leave? Tessa closed her eyes. He said after Eli's birthday. He said he didn't want to ruin it. I almost laughed. After Eli's birthday. How thoughtful. How gentle. How noble of him to wait until after his son's cake to destroy his home. Did you believe him, I asked? She did not answer quickly. That was the first honest thing she gave me. There were things that didn't make sense, she said. But when you're lonely and someone keeps showing up with groceries, birthday candles, school forms, and promises you learn not to ask questions that might make him leave. I nodded. That was not innocence, but it was not the same as what Travis had done. There is no we in this, I said. There is you and June. There is me and Eli. And then there is Travis, who wrote a story where only he knew the ending. Tessa began to cry. I'm sorry. I believe you. And I did. I did not want to, but I did. At the door, she said June loves him. I turned back. So does Eli. That was when she understood. Not the affair. Not the money. The children. The next text came from Carol 20 minutes later. You upset Tessa. Whatever you think you know, be careful. Family matters should stay inside the family. I read it twice. Then I typed, which family, Carol? She did not answer. That evening, Travis came home with grocery store roses. The discount sticker had been peeled off badly. He placed them on the counter while I cut tomatoes. Peace offering, he said. For what? He leaned against the counter. Mom says you're creating drama. I looked at him. Drama, he sighed. Don't play games, Megan. I set the knife down. What game do you think I'm playing? His smile disappeared. I think you saw something you don't understand. I think you're insecure. I think you're building a whole story in your head because you need someone to blame for the fact that your life didn't turn out bigger. There it was again. Bigger, small, insecure. The language he used to shrink me until his betrayal looked like my weakness. Then he said the sentence that made the old Megan vanish completely. Most women would be grateful for the life I gave them. I stared at him. The kitchen was quiet. Then I said, you didn't give me a life, Travis. You gave me work and called it love. His jaw tightened. You need to calm down. No, I said. You need to start telling the truth. His eyes flashed. You don't want the truth. You want an audience. I thought of the photo, the caption, the comment, the blue cabinets, the camp account. Then I said, no, I want witnesses. He stepped back like I had slapped him. Good. For the next 2 weeks I prepared. Not like a woman plotting revenge, like a mother protecting what was left. I moved my paycheck into an account Travis could not touch. I changed passwords. I moved Eli's remaining camp money. I gathered sentimental things first. My grandmother's quilt, Eli's baby photos, the shoebox of letters I had written him every birthday, my mother's recipe cards. Not expensive things, real things, legacy things. Because men like Travis understand money. They do not always understand meaning. I also spoke to a financial counselor named Denise and a family attorney named Ruth. I will not bore you with legal details because that is not the heart of this story. The heart of this story is not paperwork. It is a boy asking why his father missed another game. It is a mother-in-law calling another child ours while treating her grandson's dream like an unnecessary expense. It is a wife realizing she was not loved for who she was. She was used for what she made possible. Ruth told me one thing that stayed with me. The goal is not to destroy him. The goal is to stop disappearing. So that became my plan. Stop disappearing. Eli's 12th birthday was on November 18th. He wanted a backyard movie night, even though it was cold, because 12-year-old boys believe blankets and space heaters can defeat Ohio weather. We compromised. Pizza, cake, a movie projected onto a sheet in the garage. Kids wrapped in sleeping bags, hot chocolate, popcorn, Travis arrived home early for once. Of course he did. Travis loved events where people could see him being a good father. He carried pizza boxes, tossed a football with the boys, laughed with the dads, accepted compliments like tips. One mother said Travis is such a hands-on dad. I looked at him across the yard. Hands-on. Yes, in more than one house. Carol arrived with a veggie tray and a smile sharp enough to draw blood. She pulled me aside near the kitchen. "Do not ruin this day," she whispered. I looked at her hand on my arm, then at her face. "I won't." She searched for fear in my eyes. She did not find it. After cake, the kids settled in the garage with my sister Rachel supervising. The adults moved into the living room for coffee. Bill Travis's father sat in the recliner. Carol perched on the sofa. Travis's sister Lauren stood by the fireplace. A few neighbors lingered near the hallway. Travis leaned against the wall, relaxed and smiling. He thought the hard part of the night was over. That was his mistake. Every year I made Eli a birthday slideshow. Baby pictures, first steps, Halloween costumes, school concerts, soccer games, missing teeth, reading awards. This year began the same. Eli as a newborn wrapped in a blue blanket. Eli at 3 covered in chocolate frosting. Eli at 6 holding his first library card. Travis smiled. "Megan always makes these," he said. "She's sentimental." Sentimental. Another word people use when they benefit from your love but do not respect the labor behind it. Then the screen changed. Left side Eli at age 7 holding a science fair ribbon. Right side June at donuts with Dad sitting beside Travis in her yellow dress. Caption beneath it, June Monroe with her dad Travis. The room went silent. Travis straightened. Carol whispered Megan. Next slide. Left side Eli's soccer game, Travis missing from the family photo. Right side June's birthday breakfast, Travis standing behind her in Tessa's blue kitchen. Next slide. A grocery order to Cedar Ridge Drive. A grocery order to Willow Lane. Same card. Same week. Next slide. Eli's science camp account withdrawal. A receipt for cabinet handles. Same day. Next slide. Carol's Facebook comment. Our June bug is getting so big. Bill turned slowly toward his wife. Carol. Carol's mouth opened. No words came out. Travis stepped toward the TV. Turn it off. His voice was low. I stood beside the remote. Number. Megan, turn it off. Number. The second no was stronger. It filled the room. Travis looked toward the garage door where the kids were laughing at the movie unaware. Not here, he hissed. Here is exactly where it belongs, I said. In the house I cleaned. In the room where your mother praised you for gifts I bought. In front of the people who called you dependable while you used my son's camp money to build cabinets in another woman's kitchen. Lauren covered her mouth. Bill looked like he had aged 10 years in 10 seconds. One neighbor whispered, "Oh my God." Travis's face changed. The charming man left. The real one stepped forward. "You have no idea what you're talking about." I talked to Tessa. Carol made a small sound. Travis looked at his mother, then at me. "You went to her house?" "I went to the house you had a key to." "You had no right." I almost smiled. "No right?" He pointed at the screen. "You're humiliating me in front of my family." "No, Travis," I said. "I'm introducing them to the family you already had." The room froze. Carol stood. "This is cruel." I turned to her. "Cruel was letting my son save birthday money for a camp your son was secretly draining." Her face collapsed. Travis snapped, "Don't bring Eli into this." That was the moment my calm nearly broke. "Don't bring Eli into this," I repeated. "You brought Eli into this when you took from his future to fund your lie." He glared at me. "I was trying to do right by everyone." "No," I said. "You were trying to be adored in 2 houses while being accountable in neither." Bill stood slowly. "How long?" he asked. Travis did not answer. Bill looked at Carol. "How long have you known?" Carol's chin trembled. "Bill, how long?" She whispered, "Years." Bill closed his eyes. Travis said, "Dad, this is between me and Megan." Bill opened his eyes. "No. If your mother knew another child was calling you daddy while your son sat at our Thanksgiving table waiting for you to notice him, this is not just between you and Megan." Carol began to cry. Tessa had no one, she said. June needed family. "So did Eli," I said. Carol flinched like the words struck her. "Good. Some truth should hit." Travis turned on me again. "You think you're innocent. You think you were such a perfect wife." Number. That surprised him. I stepped closer. I was not perfect. I was tired. I was busy. I was sometimes impatient. I forgot things. I complained. I trusted you when I should have questioned you. I defended you when I should have defended myself. My voice shook once, only once. But I did not build a second family with money stolen from my child. He looked around the room searching for someone to rescue him. For once, no one moved. So he tried the old weapon. You always needed attention, he said. No, I said. I needed respect. And when I could not get that, I settled for silence. That was my mistake. He laughed bitterly. You think a slideshow changes anything? Number. I picked up the folder from the coffee table. This changes what happens next. I did not turn the room into a courtroom. I did not explain every account. I did not bury the moment in paperwork. I simply told the truth. My paycheck is protected. Eli's remaining camp money is protected. Copies of everything are with people you cannot charm. You will not empty accounts tonight. You will not tell people I am unstable. You will not turn this into a story about an emotional wife who misunderstood. Travis stared at me. For the first time since I had known him, he looked uncertain. Not sorry, uncertain. There is a difference. You planned this, he said. Yes. You set me up. No, I said. I stopped covering for you. The kids laughed in the garage. The sound floated into the living room bright and innocent. Every adult heard it. Every adult remembered what this was really about. Children. Not reputation. Not pride. Not winning. Children. I looked at Travis. You can pack a bag tonight and go to your parents' house or a hotel. Tomorrow we will tell Eli together in a way a child can survive. You will not blame me. You will not call this drama. You will not say I broke the family by naming what you did. Carol gasped. This is still my son's house. I turned to her. No, Carol. This is Eli's home. And tonight, for once, the adults will be uncomfortable instead of the child. Bill nodded. He can stay with us. Travis looked at his father. Dad. Bill's voice cracked. You heard her. Travis looked at me one last time. You'll regret this. I believed he meant it. Not as a threat. As a prophecy from a man who thought my life without his approval would collapse. I opened the front door. Maybe I said, but I will not regret telling the truth. He went upstairs. I heard drawers open. The closet door slide. A duffel bag hit the bed. No one spoke. Carol cried quietly, but I could not tell if she was crying for Eli, for June, for Travis, or for herself. When Travis came downstairs, he walked past everyone. At the doorway, he paused. For a second, I thought he might apologize. Instead, he said, You always wanted witnesses. I looked at him. No, Travis, you forced me to need them. Then he left. Cold air entered behind him. The door closed. And for the first time in years, the house felt honest. Later that night, after everyone was gone and the birthday mess was still everywhere, I sat on the kitchen floor and cried until my ribs hurt. Not because I wanted him back. Because grief comes even when you made the right choice. It comes for the woman who believed. The woman who defended him. The woman who explained away late nights' coldness, missed games, and missing money. The woman who thought patience could turn disrespect into love. I cried for her. Then Eli appeared in the doorway wrapped in a blanket. Mom, I wiped my face too late. He had already seen. Hey, baby. Is Dad gone? The question was too calm. That made it worse. I patted the floor beside me. He sat down. I did not tell him everything. Children do not need adult details. They need truth in a size their hearts can carry. Dad made choices that hurt our family, I said. He's staying somewhere else tonight. Eli stared at the floor. Did I do something? Number. The word came out fierce. He looked at me. Did you? I shook my head. Number. He leaned against me. For a while, we sat under the kitchen light with birthday plates still on the counter and deflated balloons by the wall. Then he asked the question that broke whatever was left of me. Was he with her when he missed my game? I closed my eyes. I wanted to lie. Every mother knows that instinct. To wrap the truth in something soft enough that it cannot cut. But lies had already done enough damage in this house. I don't know about every time I said, but sometimes yes. Eli nodded once. A tear slid down his cheek. He wiped it angrily. I hate that I still love him. I pulled him closer. That's okay, I said. Love doesn't shut off just because someone hurts us. Are we going to be okay? I kissed the top of his head. We are going to have hard days. But yes, we are going to be okay. And we are not going to lie to make hard things look easy. He was quiet for a long time. Then he whispered, Can I still go to science camp someday? I held him tighter. Yes, I said. Maybe not exactly when we planned, but yes, that was all he needed in that moment. Not revenge, not explanations, a future. The months after that were not clean. No real ending is. Travis apologized in the order that benefited him most. First to his father, then to Carol, then to Tessa, then finally by text to me. I'm sorry things got out of hand. Things, as if betrayal were weather. I did not answer. Later he sent, I was trying to do right by everyone. I replied, doing right by everyone does not require stealing from your son. He did not text again that day. Tessa moved out of the Willow Lane house before Christmas. Not because I asked her to, because as she told me once over the phone, I can't live in a home built out of another woman's missing money. I respected that. We did not become friends. This is not that kind of story. Some wounds do not need to become sisterhood to be handled with decency. June wrote Eli a letter months later. A child's letter. Careful. Awkward. She said she was sorry. Eli read it at the kitchen table, folded it back into the envelope, and said, "She didn't do it." No, I said, she didn't. Can I write back? If you want to. He did. I did not read it. That was his dignity to keep. Carol came to the house one Sunday afternoon with a casserole, the official currency of Midwestern guilt. I opened the door and looked at the dish in her hands. I brought dinner, she said. We have dinner. Her mouth tightened. I was trying to help. I stepped onto the porch and pulled the door partly closed behind me. Help would have been telling me the truth. Her eyes filled. He's my son. I know. I thought I was keeping the family together. No, I said. You were keeping a secret together. That is different. She looked down at the casserole. I love June. I never asked you not to. That surprised her. I continued. You could have loved that child and still refused to lie to mine. Carol began crying then. Quietly. Old tears. Complicated tears. Not enough to erase what she had done. But real. I'm sorry, she said. I believed she meant it in that moment. But apology is not a broom. It does not sweep the floor clean. It is only the first sound a person makes when they finally see the mess. Thank you, I said. I did not invite her in that day. Forgiveness does not have to open the door immediately. Sometimes it can stand on the porch and say, I heard you. By February, the house felt different. Not happy yet, but honest. And honesty has a sound. The hallway was quiet, because it was quiet, not because someone was hiding. The back gate was just a gate. A late text was just a late text. I no longer woke at 3 in the morning listening for a careful latch. One Saturday, snow fell over Cedar Ridge Drive. Eli came downstairs wearing pajama pants and one sock. Pancakes, he asked. You offering to cook? He lifted his chin. I'm 12 now. A dangerous age. Very. He measured flour like a scientist handling rare minerals. He spilled some on the counter and looked at me like I might scold him. I handed him a towel. He smiled. The kitchen smelled like butter and coffee. The maple tree outside was bare silver with snow. The house was smaller than it used to feel, but it was ours in a way it had never been when Travis lived there. Because nothing in it was pretending. While we ate, Eli told me about his science camp essay. What's it about? I asked. He pushed syrup around his plate. Rocks. I smiled. Naturally. And family. My fork paused. He looked embarrassed. It's about how rocks can look solid but have cracks inside. And how pressure changes them. Sometimes it breaks them. Sometimes it turns them into something else. I swallowed carefully. That sounds beautiful. He looked at me. Are we something else now? I thought about Willow Lane. About the wedding ring on the nightstand. About the blue cabinets. About Carol's comment. About the slideshow. About my son sitting on the kitchen floor asking if he had done something wrong. Then I looked at him. Yes, I said, but not less. People ask if I got revenge. I understand why. A secret family exposed. A husband removed from the house. A mother-in-law forced to face what she helped hide. A room full of witnesses. It sounds like revenge when you tell it quickly. But revenge was never what saved me. Dignity did. Dignity was following the truth without letting it turn me cruel. Dignity was protecting Eli before confronting Travis. Dignity was not screaming at June. Dignity was telling Tessa the truth without pretending she was the only villain. Dignity was looking at Carol and refusing to become as small as she had tried to make me feel. Dignity was standing in my own living room and saying no. Family is not the people who demand your silence so they can keep their image clean. Family is not a last name. It is not a business sign. It is not matching holiday photos. Family is the people who tell the truth even when the truth costs comfort. Legacy is not what a man builds while stepping on the people who love him. Legacy is what remains when the performance is over. Self-worth is not something someone hands you after finally recognizing your value. It is what you recover when you stop begging blind people to see you. And respect is simple. If someone can only love you while you are useful, quiet, forgiving, and easy to fool, that is not love. That is access. Do not confuse the two. For 14 years, I helped Travis Whitaker look like a good man. But the day I stopped decorating his lie was the day I began building my own life. Not perfect, not painless, but true. And a true life, even broken at first, is still better than a beautiful lie that requires you to disappear. If you were, Megan, would you have revealed the truth at Eli's birthday gathering? Or would you have handled it privately? Tell me in the comments. And if this story reminded you of someone who keeps carrying a family while being treated like they are small, send it to them. They may need to hear this today.